Week 3 continues this weekend with a battle of undefeateds in Dallas. Falcons versus Cowboys. It'll be Matt Ryan and Brandon Weeden under center in this one. ATL is favored by 1. The Cowboys are underdogs. Stephen A., are you still rolling with them?
Rolling with who?
The Cowboys.
Oh, please.
Wait a minute. When has he ever rolled with the Cowboys?
Listen, I expect the Falcons to win this game. I think Dan Quinn has got their defense playing much improved football. It's not Tony Romo there. If Tony Romo was quarterback in the Dallas Cowboys this weekend, I would have picked the Dallas Cowboys, but he's not. And even though Brandon Weeden has this arm that Jerry Jones has been bragging about, acting like he's the second coming of Joe Montana, and of course we know how much Skip loves his Brandon Weeden. We all know this, and I personally don't have anything against him because we share the same birthday, okay? I got nothing but love for the brother. The fact is that for his first game to go against the Atlanta Falcons, you got Tony Romo out, you got Dez Bryant out, okay, Jason Witten's not going to be 100%. Greg Hardy hasn't arrived yet. Randy Gregory is still probably out. Rolando McClain is going to be out. Orlando Scandrick is out for the year. I think with Julio Jones, with Matt Ryan, Roddy White, I'm assuming, is going to make an appearance and show up. I personally believe that it may be a tight and a hard-fought game, but I think that this is a game Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons should win. If they lose this game, all they're reminding us about is that they are not what we thought they were, that Mike Smith isn't the problem, the talent, or wasn't the problem, the talent was the problem. This is a game, if the Atlanta Falcons are trying to elevate themselves back to relevancy, this is a game they should win. They should beat Dallas on Sunday afternoon. I'm going to roll with a score of 27-23.
I'm with you. I'm going Falcons 2016.
Good.
Skip's
Love
gonna
it.
love it because Molly the Jinx Karam.
Molly the Jinx, you're off my bandwagon. Good. I feel very good about what I'm about to say.
Oh, go for it.
You know what, Stephen A. Smith? Every point you just made was absolutely football brilliance. I am impressed. You should be right about everything you just said, but you will not be right. You're going to be wrong because of certain intangibles you are overlooking. And allow me to start off my little soliloquy by paraphrasing the great Stephen A. Smith. Just stay on the Weeden. Just stay on him because he is worth staying on, especially this game at Jerry World this week. Now, you know how I felt about this. We didn't talk about it on the show, but I tweeted about it. I did not love the way Jason Garrett handled this quarterback situation. As you know, they traded for Matt Castle. And Jason Garrett that night called Brandon Weeden on his cell phone and made it clear to him, though we support you 1,000%, Brandon, you are now officially in a battle to keep your job as our #1 starting quarterback. And listen, Brandon Weeden has a crisis of confidence. He's lost 8 straight starts going back to his Cleveland days. He stunk it up at Jerry World in his 1 start last year. Remember that? Todd Bowles' defense, then when he was the Arizona coordinator, came in and just did a number on poor Brandon Weeden, and I was off the Weeden the next day. I still like him. And the reason I like this football team this week is, do not forget this. I still have the best offensive line in all of football. And my left guard, my starting guard, Ronald Leary, should be back from a groin pull. He did not play at Philadelphia. And by the way, Brandon Weeden was pretty good down the stretch. He got the save in that game, if you will, going 7 for 7 at Philly just to close that deal in a still losable game. He's playing behind that line, and he's going to be supported by what I still think is the most underrated defense in all of football, coached by Rod Marinelli, who is doing an extraordinarily spectacular job in the shadows. I don't hear him get much credit. He is working minor miracles by the week. He's working wonders with this defense that continues to play at a high level without a lot of its stars, who reinforcements on the way. 1 more week, and they're all starting to come back. So I still like my defense, and I love my offensive line, which brings me to my conclusion for this game. Run the football down the Falcons' throats. I don't think they can take the pounding for all 4 quarters, and I don't care about no DeMarco. I don't care. No problem. Joseph Randle, run the football. Hey, Kristen Michael. We haven't talked about him, but they traded for him from Seattle. He's a big pile driver between the tackles. He will be running the football. Darren McFadden will be running the football. And then, as you like to say, the extended running game is Brandon Weeden flipping it to Randall, flipping it to McFadden, flipping it to Lil Dunbar as they escape for 6 or 8 yards. There's a way to get this done behind that line, running the football with a lot of high percentage, what you would call dink and dunk passes. I still think this defense is good enough to keep Matt Ryan and Julio in check, just in check. I'm not saying they're going to stop them, suffocate them, keep them in check enough that it's a field goal game at the end. I say Dan Bailey will win my Cowboys this football game at the buzzer. I'm going to go 24-23. Dallas Cowboys in a huge upset against all odds, 24-23. And I want to thank Molly
Backed up against
for
the
picking
wall.
Atlanta, because she's really out on the limb with that pick. That's
first of all,
I believe in Matty Ice and Dan Quinn.
Yeah, I know.
He's taking shots
Well,
already, Stephen A. Where are you when I need you?
Well, first of all, the Falcons are ranked 29th against the pass, so that's going to be problematic for them if Weeden is any bit the passer that you and Jerry Jones, your boy, claim that he is.
The best we've ever seen.
He can
said all of
that. He can spin it.
Better than we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Having said all of that, they do rank 9th against the rush. And when you consider the fact that DeMarco Murray is no longer there, I think that this is something that they'll show up and perform, a category that they'll show up and perform in. Also, keep in mind, Skip Bayless, that last week marked the first time that Roddy White went without a catch in 130 games. I think that he'll have something to prove. He's trying to play it off like it's no big deal because he's enjoying what Julio Jones is doing out there right now, putting on the show that he's put on thus far this season. But in the end, Roddy White is going to want to remind everybody that he can be an elite receiver in this game, too, because he has not been the last couple of years. Since the days he laughed at somebody asking him if somebody else had a better receiving tandem than the Atlanta Falcons. So, you know, it's not just about Julio Jones. Roddy White needs to be Roddy White in order for the Atlanta Falcons to be the elite offense that they once were. I think that you'll see him step up this weekend. At least I'm hopeful that that will happen, particularly against a Dallas Cowboys secondary that isn't fully loaded. And I think that as a result, that's something that could work in their favor as well.
Okay, last quick point. You just brought up the point that the vaunted Falcons defense versus the run ranked 9th. Help me out here. They played the Philadelphia Eagles, who are struggling running the football as much as anybody in the league right now. And then you just said previously your Giants have a hard time running the ball. That was their other opponent. So 9th against the run. I'm not
That's
feeling
true.
that.
That's fair.
Okay.
That's fair.
No,
but I'm saying, hold on, y'all, hold on. I'm just saying that they don't have DeMarco Murray. So because they don't have DeMarco Murray, it's not like Dallas has their horses. And I'm saying that the Atlanta Falcons have the 9th-ranked rushing defense, and that's something that we should ignore because of the opponents they faced. As far as I'm concerned, the Dallas Cowboys are not the same team that they once were because they don't have the same running back that they once had last year when they were the number 2 rushing attack in all of the NFL, when they had a guy in DeMarco Murray rushing for 1,845 yards. That's not the same running team. So just like we could look at the Falcons or I'm sorry, the Giants or the Eagles, I'm looking at the Cowboys for the Falcons, and I'm saying, excuse me, it's more the same to me.
All right, Stephen A. has the Falcons. Skip has the Cowboys. You mentioned DeMarco Murray. Let's get into that next game. Will the Eagles fly? They try and avoid the team's first 0-3 start since '99. Will they be able to do it against the Jets? We'll get into that next. And it's another jam-packed sports weekend once again upon us. And, of course, we're all over the biggest storylines. Check out all of our topics by going to Instagram right now and checking out our rundown. If you have a strong take for Stephen A. or Skip, hit us with your best shot. Week 3 continues this weekend with a battle of undefeateds in Dallas. Falcons versus Cowboys. It'll be Matt Ryan and Brandon Weeden under center in this one. ATL is favored by 1. The Cowboys are underdogs. Stephen A., are you still rolling with them?
Rolling with who?
The Cowboys.
Oh, please.
Wait a minute. When has he ever rolled with the Cowboys?
Listen, I expect the Falcons to win this game. I think Dan Quinn has got their defense playing much improved football. It's not Tony Romo there. If Tony Romo was quarterback in the Dallas Cowboys this weekend, I would pick that I would have picked the Dallas Cowboys. But he's not. And even though Brandon Weeden has this arm that Jerry Jones has been bragging about, acting like he's the second coming of Joe Montana, and of course we know how much Skip loves his Brandon Weeden. We all know this, and I personally don't have anything against him because we share the same birthday, okay? I got nothing but love for the brother. The fact is that for his first game to go against the Atlanta Falcons, you got Tony Romo out, you got Dez Bryant out, okay? Jason Witten's not going to be 100%. Greg Hardy hasn't arrived yet. Randy Gregory is still probably out. Rolando McClain is going to be out. Orlando Scandrick is out for the year. I think with Julio Jones, with Matt Ryan, Roddy White, I'm assuming, is going to make an appearance and show up. I personally believe that it may be a tight and a hard-fought game, but I think that this is a game Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons should win. If they lose this game, all they're reminding us about is that they are not what we thought they were, that Mike Smith isn't the problem, the talent, or wasn't the problem, the talent was the problem. This is a game, if the Atlanta Falcons are trying to elevate themselves back to relevancy, this is a game they should win. They should beat Dallas on Sunday afternoon. I'm going to roll with a score of 27-23.
I'm with you. I'm going Falcons 2016.
Good.
Skip's
Love
gonna
it.
love it because
Love
I'm
it.
Molly the
Thank
Jinx
you.
Karam.
Molly the Jinx,
out
you're
on the
off
limb
my
on your own.
bandwagon. Good. I feel very good about what I'm about to say.
Oh, go for it.
You know what, Stephen A.
Can't wait.
Smith? Every point you just made was absolutely football brilliance. I am impressed. You should be right about everything you just said, but you will not be right. You're going to be wrong because of certain intangibles you are overlooking. And allow me to start off my little soliloquy by paraphrasing the great Stephen A. Smith. Just stay on the Weeden. Just stay on him because he is worth staying on, especially this game at Jerry World this week. Now, you know how I felt about this. We didn't talk about it on the show, but I tweeted about it. I did not love the way Jason Garrett handled this quarterback situation. As you know, they traded for Matt Castle. And Jason Garrett that night called Brandon Weeden on his cell phone and made it clear to him, though we support you 1,000%, Brandon, you are now officially in a battle to keep your job as our #1 starting quarterback. And listen, Brandon Weeden has a crisis of confidence. He's lost 8 straight starts going back to his Cleveland days. He stunk it up at Jerry World in his 1 start last year. Remember that? Todd Bowles' defense, then when he was the Arizona coordinator, came in and just did a number on poor Brandon Weeden, and I was off the Weeden the next day. I still like him. And the reason I like this football team this week is, do not forget this. I still have the best offensive line in all of football. And my left guard, my starting guard, Ronald Leary, should be back from a groin pull. He did not play at Philadelphia. And by the way, Brandon Weeden was pretty good down the stretch. He got the save in that game, if you will, going 7 for 7 at Philly just to close that deal in a still losable game. He's playing behind that line, and he's going to be supported by what I still think is the most underrated defense in all of football, coached by